Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, one on how to rivet a knife handle. Now this is gonna be repairing this knife handle with traditional copper rivets that we are gonna pin over. For this, we will need correct sized rivets. I will tell you how to determine the size there. Then a ball peen hammer. I have a vise here with an anvil on the back, and obviously a broken knife. And what you probably will need to use is a drill bit. You know, you need to drill out these holes because these rivets do not match the ones that were in here. So first of all, why would you need to use these rivets in the first place? This knife originally is riveted like this. I'm gonna show you. These, you can see these cylinders here. Normally there's an opposing piece as well that is basically like this. It's just a cylinder that goes into this hole. Then these are pressed together, which means that the inner cylinder is a bit oversized, and it's basically a press fit between these two. Now the problem is that this is not a very nice connection because there's not that much force. There's only the force of the press fit in here, and it's not a very great one because these are made of out of aluminium. And when these are put in the dishwasher, which these knives are, I've made a ton of these, they will expand, contract, whatever, and it means that the rivets can pop. Obviously also the wood expands, and that doesn't help as well. Because of that, there are a few options. In general, I would suggest using a screw rivet. I'm gonna show you how these look. And this is basically like the same concept like this. These are usually made out of brass. One like inner thread, one with outer threads. And you would basically determine the size of your hole, choose the correct screw rivets, if you can find them. Then screw them together, fix them with some Loctite, and then grind both sides off. And it's a very, very nice connection. And when you use heavy Loctite, it holds together. The issue is that these are only available in limited sizes, and also, at least in my location, not that easy to get. There are very little shops that carry them. And you know, that's a problem. These are readily available all over in all sorts of different sizes, and they are very, very cheap. The screw rivets are a few bucks a piece. If you need to replace all three, it's quite expensive, and since I'm doing this for a company and doing quite a lot of them, it's gonna be expensive, so we are using the old school copper rivets. So now let's look at how to actually do it. First of all, you would need to measure the inner diameter of the holes here. You will need to make sure that both the diameter of the hole in the steel and also in the wood is the same. Otherwise you cannot use this method, because when you hammer the rivet down, it will, you know, it will like crumple down like a squish, and then it won't be centered. So there's no way you can get a good rivet this way. Then you will need to choose the correct size for the rivets. Now as a diameter, you will probably, if you're replacing rivets on a knife, you will have some sort of, you know, guidance on how wide it is. In this case, you can see this pre-drilled spot here, and you're just gonna choose a rivet with the same upper diameter than this. These cylinder sizes will determine which drill you will need to use, like this. And then for the length, that's a bit of a trickier one. If you want to do this absolutely correctly, and you plan to do a lot of them, what you will need to do is you will make sure you always drill into the wood the same amount, and then you will just need to calculate the volume that you've taken away. And then you need to make sure that when your rivet is fully inserted, this needs to be drilled here, but the part that sticks out must have the same volume than your drilling into the wooden handle here. And that way you will know you will always have enough material. Ideally you make it a bit longer, obviously, so that you can fill it out and then grind it back down, but no, the details, we will come back to that when we actually do it. So now you have your size. you have, obviously you need your drill here, and then, you know, we can just drill them out. Now for this, I know that these handles are very prone to cracking. You can see there's a crack forming down here. And for this reason, I will drill them out pretty deep, and it won't look good in the end. Because my copper will fill out the entire void, but there's nothing, you know, remaining on the top for me to grind down. I've had a lot more failures when I drilled it out much shallower. If you want to make it look nice, that's basically your only option. You would just need to take the risk that it cracks. If you just want to make it work, I would suggest drill it out a bit deeper, and just, you know, it won't look that great, but at least your handle won't crack. So now both our holes are drilled pretty deep. We can stick a rivet through and check, and this is basically flush on this side, and this is good. Again, ideally you use the same angle on your drill bit than on this, and you know, you won't open it up so that it fills it out completely and looks nice. But again, since these are so prone to cracking, I just need to take away more material, otherwise I will just ruin every single of these handles. And now we are onto the actual riveting, which is actually quite fun. So now we are onto the actual riveting. Make sure you place this on a wooden surface and hammer the rivet in really good, otherwise you will lose tension as soon as you're done with this side. And if it is hammered in very well, then you place it on your anvil and then start hammering it with the ball end of your ball peen hammer. And while hammering, just always try to hit the center, and this way, yeah, it is pretty easy. Only at the end you can go a little bit on the sides to fill out, you know, your spaces, but hitting it on the center ensures that it doesn't, you know, bend to one side and looks bad in the end. And just like that, it is hammered shut. Note this hammer pattern, you will likely notice it from older knives. There, you know, this is just how it looked. On modern knives, you know, it looks a bit out of place because everything else on a knife is super machine made, and then this is as handmade as it gets. But you know, that's just the way it is. You could see there was a small crack starting to form here, so that's why I also stopped. And this, yeah, it's just the way it is, but you know, the customer doesn't want to pay for the screw rivet, so yeah, that's just the way it is. That was basically it. Most of the work is actually determining stuff and buying the right rivets, and yeah, now the actual riveting takes a bit of practice, but it isn't that bad. Thank you for watching. I hope I could help you with you know, your repair work. I hope you liked the video and you learned something. If you did, then consider subscribing and giving the video a like, and then I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.